Today, we are talking about the biggest mistakes I have made in filmmaking. Which, there are quite a lot. Hopefully, this video helped you not to make the same stupid mistakes that I have made. We all make mistakes. And we can learn from the mistakes of others. So I can do a lot of teaching. So the number one biggest mistake that I have made in my film career is when I walk into a room, I would shut off all the lights and block out all the windows so it would be pitch black, and I would build my lighting up from there. Now this was a horrible mistake. Now some situations require you to black out everything, but if you can, use the light provided and craft it to fit your vision, to get what you need. Don't tear all this light down when there could be something there you could use, something good that helps you get your shot. So the lesson to take away from here is craft your light. Whether you take the overhead lights already in your room or bounce something off a window, use the light around you to help get your shot. The second biggest mistake that I've done in filmmaking, and this is partly because I'm a Steadicam guy, so I like to move the camera, but I would have movement just to put movement in my shot. I didn't add movement to help tell the story. I did it because it looked nice. But sometimes the movement was really distracting and it took away from the story. And so some of my videos are just kinda not very well done. They don't look professional, even though I'm doing these very professional camera moves. They didn't help tell the story, and the audience was more focused on the good shot instead of the good story. And the story is key to filmmaking. If you're not telling a story with your videos, then you're not making a movie. So now, I just try to have movement for the sake of the story. It's very important that your movement helps tell the story, because we don't want to distract the audience, like I've said. It's all about story. Number 3, focusing on action instead of story. You probably have seen my fight scenes on the channel. Some of them are good, some of them are One of the biggest mistakes I've made with shooting those fight scenes is I wouldn't set up the character or the story. I would just have people sitting there punching each other and we would have no idea what's happening. Everything in filmmaking is about story, including a 30-second fight scene. If you don't have a good story, it really isn't a good video. If you don't get your audience engaged, you're just going to be sitting there watching people getting beat up and have no clue why this is happening. The fourth mistake I've made is when I shoot interviews, I would push my subject as close as I could to the background, which made for some really blah, bad looking interviews. When you shoot an interview, you want to pull your subject away from the background. That way there you can get that nice, blurry, good depth of field, crisp focus on your subject. If the person is smack up against that background, you're not going to be able to do that because there's not enough distance for the lens to have a different focus on the subject or the background. Once I started pulling my subjects away from the background, it started to look so much better, so much more professional. The fifth mistake I've made, and I find myself still making this on shoots, is I'll do stuff on autopilot. Now, what I mean by that is there's a certain shot, and so I'll think to myself, oh, it's this kind of shot, we have to do it this way, no questions asked. Instead of letting my mind start being creative and create a unique shot. It's a big danger, and I still do it if I'm really tired on a job and I just want to go home. I find myself running on autopilot too much. So be sure to like the video and subscribe. If you have any video suggestions, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Catch you later.